Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Wedding Talk. I'm Amber Hunter. As you know, we like to combine all the funny bits and the clever bits of weddings together with some good advice for professional wedding planners, direct from the wedding experts at the Wedding Planners School. So, over to Georgina Way with the Buttonhole Bulletin.
Welcome to this week's Buttonhole Bulletin. Some news I came across this week relates to a poll done by Interflora that found that 60% of single women had actually planned and researched one aspect of their wedding, with 5% of all the single women polled having bought wedding magazines despite not being engaged or in a long-term relationship. It also seems that one of the UK's first gay marriages is set to be turned into a televised 1-hour musical, presented by none other than Stephen Fry, according to the Belfast Telegraph. Composer Benjamin Till and his partner Nathan Taylor, a West End stage star, have been writing their own ceremony to turn it into a musical. Our Gay Wedding the Musical is set to feature pieces by family, and they have hinted at an appearance from surprise guest stars and showbiz legends. Stephen Fry will introduce the programme and will add his commentary throughout. Same-sex marriage becomes legal in England and Wales on March 29th, and Channel 4 wanted to highlight this milestone by commissioning the programme about this wedding. So Amber, you're an industry expert. What do you think are the implications of the Interflora research that I mentioned in my report?
Well, it doesn't really surprise me that so many women are researching their weddings long before they're in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
It looks like it's heading for marriage. So while it doesn't shock me, it is a little bit concerning about the psychology of women, that maybe they're focusing a bit too much on the wedding and less on finding Mr. Right.
Yeah.
But as an implication to a wedding planner, I think it shows that wedding planners need to accept that although sometimes brides' ideas might be quite outdated by the time their wedding actually arrives, that there's a little girl inside all women who's been planning this wedding for 10 years, 20 years, and we have to be respectful of those thoughts and those feelings that really make a woman feel like she is definitely married. She's had what in her mind is a wedding.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be kind and understanding about that as well. But also remember that, okay, grooms may not be out there buying wedding magazines themselves, but they probably share similar ideas as well from their childhood.
Yeah.
So let's consider them too.
Yeah, definitely. From Wedding of Influence, when they were growing up, they've sort of seen set things during their time as well. So they might not be so actively researching and interested, but I certainly think they've got the ideas, and they're increasingly wanting to come forward and take more of a role, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. I think everybody's wedding forms part of their personal brand, and the grooms are not exempt from that.
No.
But I think also as a wedding planner, this research tells us that brides probably don't understand just how many weddings some people go to, and when they're looking at a magazine which is a couple of years old because they bought it before they were even in this relationship, people will have seen those wedding ideas before. They will have seen the magazines.
Yeah.
Most of the images that you see in magazines are probably several months, maybe even years old before they make it to the magazine.
Yeah.
And therefore their ideas will be outdated. So as a wedding planner, you don't necessarily have to force your bride to go for something which is more current and fresh and original, but do make your bride aware that it won't be original to everybody there.
No.
If you're using old ideas. If they want something new and creative, they're going to have to start from scratch. But we can always squeeze in a few important elements if necessary.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case, and the planner can obviously help with mood boards and things if they want to take the ideas, be inspired from them, and move forward to help the bride have perhaps a more current or a unique wedding just for them.
Yes, I mean, if you were remembering the weddings that you saw in the 70s as a small child, okay, you can take elements of those and still make them funky and hip and retro, but in a you know, a kitsch way,
Mm-hmm.
or a fun way, or actually a quite sleek way sometimes, rather than just literally taking things exactly as they were
Yes.
and replicating them.
Yeah.
So it can offer some interesting design possibilities, but I don't think I bought any wedding magazines until I became a wedding planner. But I suspect there was a small part of me that was maybe planning my own wedding in my mind.
I
at the
think
same
I may
time.
have to admit to something along the same lines.
So, after that discussion, let's have a look at some wedding ideas that we love and some that we ditch at the altar. Now, I love any products that involve combining two elements together because it saves money and I am a penny pincher. So the product I've discovered this week in my love, love, love section is these 2-in-1 cakes. So it is both cake and seating plan all in one.
Yes.
It saves space, I think it looks really stylish. I think this could really take off, don't you?
I think it could. There is one downside that we picked up on, and that's the last minute changes to the table plan, which could prove something of a headache unless you happen to have some rice paper and a printer and you can just slip them back into the cake.
Yes, that's true. I don't think I've ever worked on an event where there weren't changes to the seating plan within the final 24-hour period.
Exactly.
And whether you can eat regular ink, I'm not sure. So you probably need some kind of clever food ink.
Food ink printer.
Yeah. Edible ink. Great. So you've been looking at some pretty distasteful products this week as well. What's turned your stomach this week?
Well, I think the main one was the wedding dress that I found, which seemed to be taking its inspiration from Alice Tinker of the Vicar of Dibley. Now, she's not the classiest of characters to imitate, so it hasn't made it to the hot list. Once I found this one though, it was very easy to find a lot of other dresses that also would be suitable for perhaps a theatre or carnival, but not necessarily for a wedding in St Paul's Cathedral, we don't think.
Certainly not. So if you have any products that you absolutely love, maybe they're your products or products that you've seen on the market that you think everybody should be aware of, do let us know by contacting us through the Wedding Planner School website, which you can see on the screen now. Likewise, if you've seen something that you think deserves a life in the wedding bin, then we'd also love to hear about it and get you chuckling along with us. So do contact us, and if you've got any other stories, wedding news, get in touch. That's it for another wedding talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Do sign up for our newsletter and you'll receive extra information and help from the Wedding Planner School, the leading experts in professional wedding planning. Goodbye.
Goodbye.